It's time for Mr.
Fundamental.
Presented by no one.
After a successful season and making the playoffs in 2021, the Knicks made the right moves in the following offseason. They re-signed their free agents and added more scoring and shooting in Kemba and Fournier to address their problems offensively. Fast forward to last year, things didn't go so well for them, but their front office made a high-profile move in signing Jalen Brunson to help fix their problems. Can he help turn things around for the Knicks? Let's check it out. First, we gotta look at what went wrong last year, and there were two things that stood out to me. One of them is Julius Randle's regression. After an all-star season in the previous year, Randle's efficiency fell back to earth. It could just be regressing to the mean, or defenses start to key in on him, but what makes it interesting is how his shot quality changed this year. Not only was he getting more open looks and shots off the catch, he's increased his attempts at the basket and beyond the arc, while reducing his mid-range jumpers. That should be music to everyone's ears, but his efficiency says otherwise. While some of this could just be him going through a shooting slump, he wasn't doing himself any favors. It seems like Randle's all-star season made him feel like he needs to carry the offense, and you can see how he always stations himself above the break to try and get the ball and initiate the offense. They slow down the offense after Randle slips. Rather than going into a handoff or setting a quick screen, Randle stays way above the arc, looking to get the ball back. He also doesn't have the superstar gravity, so his defender is willing to help off of him when he's way out there. After Fournier gets the board, everyone sprints down the court besides Randle, who's looking to bring the ball up himself. No big deal for now, but once the Knicks go into a quick handoff, Randle is standing at the logo. Again, he's got no superstar gravity, so his man can help clog Kemba's driving lane, and the Knicks go to their fifth option on offense, a Robinson post-up and a turnover. This tendency puts him further away from the basket, and forces him to settle for pull-up threes when he can't get past his man. Let's say he does get past his man. Defenses has more time to rotate and help off of his drives. With more shooting around him, his handoff and screens should give him more space on the short roll. He's basically abandoned that by constantly popping after screens. See how Bogdanovic went over the screen, and Randle has all this space to get a pocket pass if he rolls. He decides to pop back out instead. The offense stalls, and he picks up the offensive foul when he can't get past his man. Standing above the break also means less time spotting up in the corner, and that's where he was at his best from 3 during his all-star season. The second problem was how they used Kemba, and there were plenty of reports on how Kemba is trying to fit in as a fourth option on offense. This was a huge problem, because Kemba has always been a player who offsets his poor defense with his offensive production. When you limit his offense, his defensive weaknesses gets magnified, and it's no wonder the Knicks starting lineup had one of the worst net ratings in the league. While Brunson is quite similar to Kemba in that aspect, this definitely won't happen again. When you compare his high-profile acquisition compared to Kemba's buyout from OKC, it's guaranteed that Brunson will be featured on the defensive end. I'm sure a lot of you know about Brunson's game after he got a lot of attention this past season. He's a crafty guard and knows how to pick his spots. Brunson is at his best within the arc and has a variety of moves to get his shots off. While he's just 6'1", he has a bulky frame to not only help him absorb contact, but also bump his defender off balance to create more space for a shot. What makes him effective within the arc is usually staying on balance once he picks up his dribble. He gets past his man, but needs to help defender. See how he plants that left foot, and this wide stance lets him stay balanced after a strong drive. The defense bites on the pump fake, and he steps through for the layup. On the drive, Brunson was able to stop his momentum, while the slight bump forced his defender's momentum to carry him towards the basket. This creates space for him to step through and float it in. This is like the prime example. Brunson drives, but White does a good job to slide in front. When White falls, you can see Brunson still balanced. He then finds the open spot and nails the midi J. Even on his fadeaways, he would use his legs to line up his body to the basket. This keeps him more on balance and allow him to hit the shot. On the rare occasion that he is bumped off his spot, Brunson is just a shot maker and rarely gets a shot blocked because of how slanted he is on his fadeaways. While Brunson's assist numbers won't blow anyone away, he is a reliable playmaker, evident by his 3-to-1 assist ratio. He's a lead guard capable of running an offense. Here he identifies a mismatch and threads the needle for an easy basket at the rim. While the Knicks committed the 10 least turnovers per game last year, the offense was always out of sorts and had a lot of unforced turnovers. Like Randle was going into a handoff, but he passes before the screen, while Kemba was going to sprint towards the handoff, leading to the turnover. The whole team just wasn't in sync, as Robinson has been waiting for a shot to go up multiple times, leading to this 3-second violation call. Having Brunson is going to help a bit to organize their offense, which actually had Alec Burks running the show at some point during this past season. Offense has always been a problem for Tom Thibodeau-led teams, There are rarely any secondary actions, and the offense always stalls. This resorts to a lot of isolations and much tougher shots. Brunson isn't going to change that single-handedly, but he beats out everyone on the Knicks in terms of scoring in isolation. His numbers actually even got better in the playoffs. It's easy to see how Brunson can fit with the Knicks because he's similar to D Rose in a sense that they're both at their best within the arc. D Rose has been excelling coming off the bench, and adding Brunson means they'll have a capable lead guard on the floor for basically the whole game. One of the questions with Brunson's addition is how he's going to fit with Randle and Barrett, but there are some encouraging signs. We've covered how Randle constantly pops after the screen, but Brunson's tendency to attack the paint will put more pressure on the defense. If the defense switches to pick and roll, the offense now has two mismatches to target, either the size advantage with Randle, maybe a post up here, or Brunson can take advantage of a slow-footed big man. Brunson's presence is going to relieve some pressure for Barrett as well. Last season, Barrett had to initiate a lot of their offense, leading to a career high in usage rate but took a huge hit on his shooting efficiency. Similar to Randle, Barrett had to abandon his sweet shooting spot in the corner to run the offense out on top. Barrett also struggled at the rim because he relied on outreaching his defender for his finishes. That actually made him the leader in total shots blocked by opponents with 105. Not only will Brunson running the offense let Barrett spot up more, hopefully in the corner, but also getting easier looks at the rim when attacking a scrambled defense. If Randle and Barrett initiates, Brunson has been used to playing off the ball next to a high usage superstar in Luka. Brunson actually ranks in the 81st percentile in spot-ups. He knocked down 40% of his catch-and-shoot threes last year. Although it's on low volume, it is just enough to provide spacing off the ball. But what makes him effective is attacking off the catch and dissecting the defense. The biggest concern for Brunson is how effective he can be with worse spacing on this Knicks team. Brunson had a lot of space to operate within the arc because of the 5-out spacing on the Mavs. This just highlights the importance of Barrett and Randle rediscovering their touch beyond the arc, and that starts with them stationing in the corners, while Brunson runs their offense out on top. The last thing I want to go through is how a leader's playstyle rubs off on his teammates. Randle's playstyle often seeks out contact, but after his all-star season, he's looking for those superstar calls, especially when he's struggling with a shot. In some way, I feel like this could have actually rubbed off on Barrett, who's looking and complaining more to the refs after his drives. Brunson's playstyle relies more on finesse, finding the open space, and playing through contact. Maybe that could have a positive impact on the Knicks, but that's still undetermined. Brunson's addition alone isn't going to push the Knicks into championship contenders, but like most reports said, it's a good foundational piece. Just like the moves they made last offseason, their front office identified areas for improvement and added pieces to solve those issues. Brunson's addition will work in theory, but the same could be said when they added Kemba last year. We'll just have to see how it turns out next season. That's it from me, and I'll see you guys next time.